Alright, in this video we're going to be discussing the origin of plants, the lineage of viroids that led to the origin of plants. Hi, my name is Eduardo Hernandez. I am the creator of Emergent Chemical Evolution, the newest theory in the origin of life, and I am also the author of the book by the same name, available in all major online retailers. As we've discussed before, the origin of all cellular life forms stems from viruses, but not just a single virus. Other viruses would have been created from viroids. Viroids is the origin of life. It is a strip of RNA that does not encode for any proteins. And from that one type of viroid, you have multiple copies made. And hence, when you have multiple copies, you're going to have multiple types of errors occur: deletion, duplication, complete copying of the genome, doubling of the genome. And therefore, you're going to have different lineages of said viroid. And those different lineages, through chance and through evolution, are going to have the opportunity to have different characteristics evolve, different types of proteins that will aid that particular lineage to survive. In particular, since in this discussion we're going to be speaking about the plant lineage, we're going to speak about viruses that would have had their niche in the prebiotic oceans and would have dominated that niche. And one of those niches, I believe, would be the niche of having evolved complex enough structure to have evolved chloroform, a means of transforming light energy into chemical energy. This would have been a major boon for that type of virus. Well, actually, by that time, it would have been a single-cell organism, because it would have been independent of other organisms in a need for replication and a need for getting its own nutrients from the environment. So therefore, it would have been an encapsulated cellular life form, which would be able to retrieve and process everything it needed to garner energy from the environment, and also to be able to take that material and replicate itself. So therefore, this would have been plants would have originated from cellular life forms. And the lineage that led to that one from viruses would have been one that the membrane of said virus and cellular organism would have lent itself to encapsulation by a cell wall. And that could have stemmed from the ability of a protein emerging from errors that would have produced an outer coating, a harder outer coating that would have garnered more protection for those type of cells. And that being the case, because we see that now in plankton. Plankton have a hard shell that protect it, but they are photovoltaic. They garner energy from the sun, and they have organelles that are photovoltaic. So in order for plants to have emerged, you would have had a single cellular type of organism that would have garnered the ability to create a protein that would attach it to the rock surface, and attach it to the rock surface at rocks that were close to the surface, meaning close enough to the surface to allow the water to continue to protect them and provide them with the nutrients they need, and shallow enough to get enough sunlight. So through evolution and through continued evolution, they would have garnered different systems to aid in their survival. You could imagine that not only did they have proteins that allowed it to attach to a particular type of rock, they would have evolved, other strains would have evolved to attach to different types of rock, and maybe even attach at different depths depending on the composition of the rock. Also, through time and exposure, through tidal exposure, there would have been other lineages that would evolve a root system, a system that would allow water to be taken from the ocean up into the organism if the organism found itself higher in the water table, and that was more exposed more often to the air than to the water. So that any organism that would evolve a system of routes of transport of water and nutrients to it, where it's located far from the water source and the nutrient source, would therefore begin a plant-like life that had a root system. And there you would have the ancestors of plants. And then over time, when the continents began to rise, those organisms that evolved the root system would further invade dry land, and over time gain the characteristics through evolution that we recognize as plants today. So they would have been the first land invading organisms from the sea. Maybe, I mean, this fungal too, which could have been another type of organism that attached itself to rocks, but were not photovoltaic. But that ability to attach to rocks gave them some kind of survival advantage, and therefore that lineage led to fungi. So that will be the discussion for another video. I hope this was informative. I hope you find it plausible, tenable, logical, and see you next video. Please pass the word about my theory, and if you care to, purchase the book, but definitely give me a like, and please share the video. Thank you.